Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here, okay? Kick off your shoes, relax your feet. Child, let's get into the messiness, okay? The foolishness, the foolery that is Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, okay? This is my review recap of Most Wanted, Season 4, Episode 14. Child. Same mess, different day up here, okay? So, we started out this episode basically, seeing that Kevin comes home and he finds the letter, okay, and those underwear that Miss Tiffany left in. He's like, what the heck is going on now? It's always some shit with this bitch, okay? His words, not mine. And he basically says that he's gonna keep trying. And I'm like, really, Kevin? Oh, you working so hard on trying to make sure this relationship is right. And so, he's calling her like, what's going on? What happened now? What's the problem? And she's like, the problem is them daggone underwear, okay? Them panties that I found. And he's like, well, you throwing, your old panties up on the bed and getting an attitude about them. She like, those is not mine. He like, well, they not mine either. I don't know whose those is, okay? So she's like, well, I guess you need to be paying more attention and basically keeping up with stuff. She says, well, what are you keeping it for? Is this trophies or souvenirs or something like that? I'm confused. Why would it still be in your house? And so he basically says, at this point, you are just like waiting for me to leave and then digging through shit. I done gave you keys to the house and all this and that. Why would I do that if I'm not serious? Why would you, Kevin? Okay. And then, she's asking who else has keys, and he's saying his mother and his son. She's like, well, I don't know, but you know what I mean? I can't move forward like this. She's like, it's 2 steps forward and, 3 steps back, whatever. And he was like, yeah, it's 3 steps back on your part. So nonetheless, she basically was like, he was saying like, where the hell did you even find these? Like, I don't even understand it. And so she was like, well, maybe what you want to do is go ahead and clean up everything in your house, go through everything, round up all the shit that's not yours and put it out. And maybe if you do that, then we would not continuously still be having problems. I doubt that very much, Miss Tiffany, okay? And so then she's saying, and plus I know that you probably still out here messing with Kayla. Yes, he is, okay? And that she just basically needs some time to cool off, Does he want to see that bad side come out of her again or whatever? And she's trying to prevent that from happening. And so he's like, yeah, okay, you always need time to cool off. That's always your answer. I think he said she did this like 2 times before. And he ends up, letting her back in. And she's like, well, would you rather that I'm flipping out and I'm acting like a fool? And he's like, well, that's kind of what you already doing, But nonetheless, I really don't have much feeling on this, because Tiffany knew what she was getting when she was getting it. And my grandmother always used to say, seek and you shall find. Okay, if you go looking for something, more than likely you're going to find it. And I don't think it was any big shock that there's been women there before you and more than likely during you, which is why you wanted to bring in a third partner anyway, Miss Tiffany. So again, not much to say there, but he's saying that normally when you're dealing with somebody and they have trust issues and they're always trying to blame you, is because they're guilty of some stuff, right? And so he pretty much, was like, he's gonna keep trying. And I said, okay, Kevin, whatever, all right. And so later on, he has Miss Kayla come by, and he's saying that, they need to go ahead and have a conversation or whatever, right? And, she's, of course, been calling him down like crazy. And he says that when they were younger, he actually used to find this stuff cute. It was a turn on for him. But now it's getting to the point where it's just downright annoying and he don't want to be bothered with it. He's sick of it. He don't want to hear no more of her bitching and complaining. And he's saying that he don't know how this is going to go because they supposedly need to have a real conversation. So, he says, why don't you come on in, right? And basically, like fixing her some drinks or whatever the case may be. But when she was trying to say, like offer him one or tell him to make him one too, he says, nah, he's not going to be, doing no drinking, all right? He just going to, I guess, be talking to her while she does her drinking. So she asking him like, yo, what's going on? And, he basically also has said that, you don't know what to expect with her. One minute she could be calm, and the next minute she could just, fly off the handle, get, real irate and be ready to argue, right? Which is pretty much what we seen. Because it started out with her saying like, oh, well, what's going on? What's really happening here? Why does she have this page made up with you two on there? What's that about? She's like, oh, you want to get in some freaky stuff and, have, I guess threesomes or whatever the case may be with her and that type of thing. And, who she's supposed to be. And he's saying, well, she was a friend. Of course, the fact that she was locked up and all of that. And she was like, oh, so you was just dealing with me in the meanwhile while you was waiting on her. He's like, no, I wouldn't say that. He was like, that's not what I was doing or whatever. And then he was asking her, like, how long has it been since they've been in a relationship, a serious relationship? And she was like, well, I mean, it's been some years, but let's not pretend and let's not act like I haven't always been the main chick. I'm the one that's here for you. All these other chicks is the side chicks, according to her. And that, they still wasn't messing with each other on a daily, even after they broke up, which is why she feels the way that she feels and why she goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs the way she do, Kevin, okay? I know she not lying about that, and so, she just basically was saying like, she'll start spilling the beans and she'll start telling everything on him. And he's like, well, what is there to tell? And, she's like, because you still was making it seem like it was a certain way with me. And, in the meantime, when he's talking to us, he's saying that he really does want to make it work with Kayla. And I'm not Kayla, Tiffany, okay? And he wants Kayla to understand, but he knows that she's not. And so she basically, was saying to him that, he really hadn't been seeing her in a while, and I guess supposedly not getting to talk to her. And she's just laughing at him. And he says he tried to be friends with her or whatever, and he thought that, that would be okay. But it seems like it's been weird, it's been bumpy, it's been problems. And then now, it's this tender thing, and it's not something that, he came up with. She came up with that. And she was like, yeah, but you ain't saying nothing. And she's basically, trying to be posting up stuff, and you want to be a nasty bitch, and she's like, what's up with that? What's your reasoning behind that? And so she was like, what's really going on? And that's the thing with Kevin. He's not telling nobody nothing. He want to talk in between, over, under, through, and all around, instead of getting direct and to the point and just saying point blank period, this is what it is. And as long as you keep doing that, you're going to keep having problems, And she gets to the point where she starts, basically threatening him. She was like, oh, he's telling me we not together, but I beg to differ. Girl, you need a little help there too, okay? She talking about some, like I said, she's the main one, all these other ones are side ones. And she was like, I don't understand why he be acting stupid because I own my own business. I own a bar. I'll be helping him out with certain things. I'm a strong woman. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other. And it's like, girl, if it's not there, it's not there. Don't matter whether you own your own business and all this other stuff. She telling him to be real, that they both grown. But at the same time, it's like, what it is. With her and Tiffany, they know what it is. But they want to think that they can change him and make him be the way that they want him to be. And we all know that it just does not work that way. That's not the way it goes. And so, she's saying that she'll tell Tiffany stuff, she'll blow him up. And he is like, well, what is there to tell? What are you really going to say? Oh, I'll say everything. Let's not act like I don't know everything and I can't blow stuff up and I can't put you out there and all of that kind of stuff. And I don't think that it really would be a surprise if she comes and tells Tiffany anything. She's saying they have great sex. She give him great sex. Sometimes sex ain't it, girl. These, y'all be thinking y'all gonna hold somebody with sex. That ain't it either. So she says she do every sexual play, that he could possibly want. So she was like, what's so good about her? Why the hell he want her and all of this stuff? So now it's like, basically she wants to go and tell Tiffany whatever. But like I said, even if she does tell Tiffany something, I think it's just going to be a confirmation for Tiffany. It's not going to be anything that she don't already know. And Kevin is basically saying, expose me for what? And she was like, expose you for being so fake. And then he gonna talk about something. I think we need to take a break. You're not listening to me. You're not paying attention to nothing that I'm saying or whatever. And she's like, no, I'm not, because basically you sitting here trying to lie in my face. And that was pretty much how the two of them ended, they little argument. Or I see that, just ending up with a big blowout between her and Miss Tiffany or whatever, right? Because we have somebody that's not man enough to stand firm and be real. He still want to play games. He still want his cake and want to eat it too. He still want the both of them. And so that's why he's so nonchalant about it and laid back. And, I'm going to give a little here, I'm going to say a little there, but not coming out direct, because if he wanted to, he could have been did it. And I think the only reason why he even went an inch this time is because, like he said, he's starting to get annoyed with it now. Whereas before, it was this big turn on, like, yeah, this crazy chick, is bothering me or whatever. Now it's, oh, Lord, this crazy chick is bothering me. So I think that's why he did the little bit that he did do, which I don't even know what you would call that, but that was probably like the most you was going to get out of him, right? So then we have, I think we had, was it Lindsay and I'm sorry, y'all, let me look at my notes real quick. I think we had Lindsay and Deontay, if I'm not mistaken. And we seen that the guy was giving her these boots or whatever that he had got for her. Then we see the same part we saw from last week, where Lindsay is basically asking to drive and they leaving to go ahead and leave the hotel. And basically, Deontay didn't let her drive. He got in and he drove in. First thing out her mouth, even though, well, before we even got to that, Deontay says, it's interesting, right? And he's still kind of having a hard time. And Lindsay was like, interesting, with what? And he was like, the fact that y'all are over here living together, that it makes him a little uncomfortable. And she was like, well, why the hell would that make you uncomfortable? He's saying, what if y'all have a drunken night and one of y'all go into the other one bedroom? She's like, man, after 8 years, if that was going to happen, we would have already did that. And she basically laughs. I could agree with her there more than likely. So he was like, well, that's still an issue for him, and that she should be glad that he's basically having those issues. And she was like, really? Why would I be glad of that? And why would, that be okay? And he was like, well, don't get me wrong. There is parts of me that's insecure as well. And I have to work on that. But it is a little awkward that y'all did together like that. And so then he's saying, why you staring at me like that? Why you staring at me crazy? She's like, I'm not staring at you crazy. She was like, you do realize we haven't seen each other all this time. All I've been able to do is just look at a picture, and now I'm able to look at you. And so I can say that Lindsay does seem like more lighter. She seems to be all giggly and like bubbly, and you know what I mean? Like, if she probably getting a little butterflies, okay? I don't know if maybe she has more of attraction to him than what she did with Scott, because I really don't think she was attracted to him at all. And if that's what's coming out here, or if it's a thing that she really do like, Deontay, but she do seem to have a little bit of a different demeanor than she did with Scott. But nonetheless, even though when she was talking to her friend and he brought up the whole thing of possibly asking Deontay about bailing out her friend, and she was like, come on, how does that look? I'm gonna be like, hi, can you bail out my friend? And she was making it seem like she wasn't gonna do that. She does exactly that. She turns around and was like, yeah, but I've got a friend that got arrested, and I'm gonna need you to go ahead and bail them out. And Deontay is like, huh? You know what I mean? Like, this is not how I was planning on spending a daggone date. And so she's like, yeah, you can't do me this favor real quick. She lets him know that she can't do it because she still has these other warrants, which he didn't know nothing about that. She's like, oh, well, I didn't tell you that. And he's like, you're telling me now. I never heard nothing about this before, whatever the case may be, right? And he's telling her he really don't feel comfortable with doing this. He don't want to do it. He was like, I don't know who this person is. And you know what I mean? You don't need to be going and getting into no trouble and mix it in with nobody. He was like, if it was you, if it was, her friend Blaine or something like that, he would do it. But he was like, that's a lot to be doing something like that for somebody that I don't know, and I don't know what kind of trouble they got into. And so at one point she was trying to tell him that he was sounding like Scott. He said, come on, don't ever compare me to him. You know, she's talking about, oh, well, you're sounding like him right now, because he always thought and said that I didn't have the look that a lot of other inmates look, or people, you know, people that may have been on drugs or inmates or whatever have. And so, you know, sometimes you can't go by a person how they look and what they doing and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. But you're also asking a lot of somebody that just got here 2 seconds ago, and your ass only been out of jail for a day, but you over here worried about bailing somebody out. Like, you don't see nothing wrong with this picture, Lindsay. And so, you know, of course, she's still saying please. She's telling him to pull over here by this gas station, and she's talking about loyalty. And, you know, he never heard of loyalty before. He was like, yeah, I did hear of loyalty, but you also need to watch who you going around and what you putting your energy to and who you being loyal to, okay? Which he had a point there. And he was basically like, you know, you can't do that for everybody. And so, you know, he was like, I also worry about you, and I don't want you to end up, you know, back in jail, basically. And so, of course, after she beg and plead him, you with him for a while, and she's telling him that this is really important to her, and she really would appreciate him if he do it, and giving him kisses and all this other stuff. She basically was like, you know, I'm going to really need you to do this, okay? And that she can't go. He got to go on her own. She's like, oh, they know my face. They know my name. Now, mind you, every 10 seconds or 10 minutes, whatever, that she's talking to him, all we keep hearing is, I got warrant in different places. I'm not wanted from the federal, but I am wanted. You know, they can't see me. I said, girl, you on TV and you saying this shit every damn 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 seconds, all of the above. You keep, I got a warrant. I got a warrant. Did y'all know I got a warrant? Yeah, I got a warrant. I got warrants. Okay. And so, you know, he's telling her he don't want her to fall back into, you know, the same shit. And she's saying that she not. So, you know, basically he looks so scared and pitiful, like, oh, and I gotta go by myself. So he basically ends up saying, like, you know, what did I get myself into? He's like, it's always me. You know what I mean? That gotta be in some mess. I said, I'm glad you know, because we damn sure do, right? But when he got there, come to find out, they had told him it was $789, but this guy has warrants, multiple warrants, just like damn Lindsay do. So even if he would have paid it there, basically there was a hold on him. So the bail wouldn't have meant nothing, you know, and he wouldn't have been able to get out. And so then she tells him to come back to her. And of course, as they are, you know, when he get there and he pick her up and he telling her, and they driving or whatever, he's like, where do we go now? She's saying the Airbnb. And he's like, oh, good. Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about, right? And he's ready to go. And he's basically saying how he gonna tear her all up. And baby, the cops pull up behind them. So we didn't get to see, you know what I'm saying, what's happening with that. And of course, he's nervous. She nervous. Everybody's nervous with that, right? So I said, okay, you know, Deontay, you and these damn missions, I would love to see your mother face and what she got to say now, because I love his mother, and I know that she is like, my daggone boy, okay, what the hell are you doing? So we basically then get, you know, Chaz and Broadwin, okay, the next couple that do not need to be they behinds up here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Matter of fact, before we got Chaz and Broadwin, we actually got Taylor and Chance. And Taylor and Chance, basically, I guess this is supposed to be Easter. I'm assuming he's dressed up like the Easter bunny. The kids is out there playing. He meets her dad for the first time. When he was saying hi to them, to be honest, they look like they didn't want to be bothered. You know, he's taking the Easter bunny head, like, off and on his head or whatever the case may be. And he basically, you know, started, like, talking to the dad and making really, really, really horrible jokes. I didn't find nothing about those damn jokes funny, and neither did the father and the stepmother, whatever. They was just looking at him like, yeah. And even Taylor at one point was like, I think that's kind of inappropriate to be saying to my damn dad. And so Taylor's dad basically, started going in on Bobby on the fact that she's been using drugs forever. She's never going to stop using drugs. He's saying all these different times that he found her that she had OD'd, which is understandable, okay? But Taylor started getting emotional, and she doesn't want them to know that she relapsed again. And she's basically saying that, when the dad was there, she always felt like she had to be in the middle. Now, I will say I was shocked, because Chance actually was defending Bobby and was saying that when you're in a family, he know it could get hard, it could get rough. He was like, he have used drugs, he have overdosed, he have been to jail, so he could understand and kind of empathize with her a little bit more. And he was saying how families have to support each other, okay? So I was shocked to see, that he even said that much. And the father basically was trying to tell him that if they don't get, her away from them, that it's going to ruin their relationship, and that's what she almost did to him. At one point, Taylor even says that she basically had to pack the father up and get him up out of there, okay? Because, she said technically Bobby had been staying there with her first, and the father at this one time had called the police and was trying to, get her in trouble or have them catch her out there in some kind of way. So she was like, that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And of course, because they're twins and they have that connection, it's really hard for her to let go. But it was interesting to me that, the dad asked him what he went to jail for, and he was like, robbing banks, and robbing a bank, right? And the fact that he's allergic to drugs, when he take drugs, then he end up in jail. He's saying how he had took some drugs, and by the time he woke up, he didn't even know what happened, and he woke up in a jail cell. And the dad didn't have much to say about that, or the fact of him saying that he OD'd these several times and stuff like that. But he's all of a sudden more concerned about Taylor actually being able to stay with him and make it work, and going in on Bobby. That was a little confusing to me, as much as I could understand what he was saying about Bobby, and how as a family member, as somebody that's an addict that's going in and out of jail and stuff like that, it does do damage to you as well. And you can get to your point where you're tired of it, and you feel like if that person is not going to help themselves, type of thing. And he also at one point has said, that he could see her dying or whatever, and that he's not coming to bail her out or help her or go to the hospital, none of those type of things. Again, the next time he would probably see her is when she dead, which is horrible, But yet he didn't seem to pick up on anything on Chance, or really ask him too many questions, when he has the same type of background that you're saying that you hate about Bobby. So I did find that interesting. Later in the episode, we also see that Chance basically went and got a truck, okay? And then there's $3,000 tires and all this stuff, and he's saying he can handle the payments. Excuse me. He wanted this to be a surprise. He keeps saying, I like it, I like it, I like it. In the meantime, Taylor is super worried, because she's like, we don't have that extra help that we was having before when Bobby was home. We also don't have a babysitter. He telling her about how it's only going to cost $150 for a babysitter. And she's like, no, it's not. It costs way more than that. Especially, plus we have 3 damn kids that's there. And so he's saying, I know you're not used to, somebody being there for you and giving that support and being able to depend on somebody or whatever. But he is promising that supposedly he is going to be that person to do that. And I wouldn't hold my breath on that, Taylor, okay? But Chance, hey, if you prove me wrong, I would love to see it, okay? So moving on along from then, we basically had another couple I don't care about. Get all these couples that I don't care about out the way. Poppy and Amber. Poppy is here at this divorce lawyer with, Eric. They're looking into how much it would cost for him to get, divorce, what the paperwork is going to have to be, how long it would take, who has to serve it, and all those different type of questions. Eric does seem like he doesn't have a problem with doing it. He was asking how much it was going to cost, and she got mad and was like, what does it matter how much it costs? He was like, I would like to know. I'm going to have to pay it. So she said it's about $6,500 plus a filing fee and a service fee. He said, okay, that's fine. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's go ahead and do what we got to do. She's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I'm sure. She's like, oh, because you're not sounding like you sure. He was like, listen, that's because you're oversure, whatever the hell that means. And so, they basically say, you know, is either served by a public defender, private server, or whatever. And so he says, okay. He says, are there any other questions? We could go. So when they get outside, she's basically starting to be like, do you still love her? He was like, I'm not going to even answer that. And she was like, you could, you know, you didn't say no. He was like, no, I did say no. He was like, I just don't understand why you're asking me that. She's saying it's demeaning that he made her ask that. He says it's demeaning that you even bothered to ask it in the first place. You know, she's saying, you know, he basically was saying this is stupid. And she was like, no, I just need to know what's going on. She was like, I can't deal with this anymore, whatever the case may be. And I shouldn't have to ask you none of this stuff. I should know. And at this point, I just want to know that, you know, you're for me just as much as I'm for you. And she was like, I need to go ahead and be able to move on. And either it's going to be with you or without you. So apparently Puppy is just going really, 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 really hard now. And this is supposed to be super important to her to, you know, find out where the hell Eric stands with this, because she definitely wants to get married. She's saying it does not have to be right this minute, but she at least wants to have an idea, know that this is actually going in motion, know that he's actually trying to make an attempt to get a divorce. So I said, okay, girl, fine. You know, we basically had, you know, Puppy, Amber, she goes and meets up with TC. We finally get to see him. Okay, this is her now boyfriend. And they basically have a date to do this axe throwing or whatever, right? And, you know, they seem to be having a good time. She's putting him up to date what happened with Puppy. He's asking her about how, you know, the mom's wedding with. He's like, that's so important. That's, you know, the most important part. That's what I care about. I'm glad all of that worked out. He's like, even though he don't know Eric, okay, I guess from what he heard about him, he's not liking him. And basically, you know, he started saying how, you know, when they first met and how they felt like they was the only two in the room and they was mesmerized by each other and they get along so good and they have, you know, such a strong connection. And I can say, when I think about the people that Amber has dealt with in past relationships that we've seen, she always did seem a little awkward when it came to her with the guys. And then with Puppy, it was pretty much awkward too, because, you know, she always had to be drunk in order to be intimate with her and all kind of stuff. Whereas I can say that she does look comfortable with this guy. And she does look relaxed. She does look like she's genuinely enjoying herself when she's with him. And as they're playing, you know, they making different jokes. She's saying, you know, I won't go to jail for this, right? And she's missing some of them and saying, you know, if I win, what do I get? And he's saying, if, you know, I win, what do I get? And she says something about, you know, no brains out. And she was like, oh, he was like, okay, then I'm definitely going to win. And it got to a point where they was talking about how her mom looks good for 55. And she was like, do you see yourself being with me at 55? And he was saying, yeah, he probably could. He was like, and, you know, she looked damn good, so you would look good. And he's saying how, you know, at one time he wasn't thinking about dating. He wasn't thinking about getting serious. He never really wanted to get married again. But I guess with him now being around Amber, he's getting some different thoughts now, right? And he could actually see himself wanting to retire on a cow farm. I said, okay, a cow farm. Okay, cowboy. So, you know, she's saying how that sounds nice to her, right? That sounds like somewhere that she could see herself being. You know, she's asking him if he wants more kids, and he's saying yeah. And she's saying when she was, you know, going to jail, getting high and doing all her dirt in the past, she really didn't never think about herself being able to be a mom and have kids. But right now, she would like to, she could see that too, and she could see herself getting married to him. So this definitely was a different side in terms of the relationships that we've been seeing her have. And, you know, he was like saying, yeah, I could see it too. We could spend, you know, the rest of our lives together and be real happy. And so when they was leaving out, she gets a call from Puppy, and she's telling her, like, listen, I am out on a date, okay? You know, she also did tell us that they have not been using no protection. So at this point, if it's meant to happen, then it would happen. So I said, oh, we trying to do it like that. But, you know, Puppy does call her, and she just was letting her know, like, I'm on this date. You know, do you think we could hook up and go shopping tomorrow? Because Puppy was like, she wanted to tell her what happened at the lawyer and plus tell her about something else. So she said, yeah, that's fine. We can meet up tomorrow and go shopping. So, you know, when she's hanging, you know, she says have a nice date. And when she's hanging up, you know, Mr. TC is basically like, that's puppy. And she was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, that's funny because I see you got her name in as wifey, okay? And he was, she tells him that that was a prison term. And he's like, yeah, I get it, but I'm not going to be going for that. So we got to get that straight. And I'm like, yeah, puppy, Amber, you know damn well you ain't got to still have in your phone as no damn wifey. So that is kind of interesting. Watch out for her, TC. Watch out, okay? But nah, I don't think she want no damn puppy, right? And so, you still kind of have puppy going through the motions. To be honest, puppy look like she needs to be in somebody program. She needs to be getting therapy. That's what puppy look like, okay? But she's having this conversation with her mother, and her mother was really giving her real sound advice and stuff like that. Now, her mother still don't even know like the full story, and she can tell that she doesn't know the full story. So she keeps telling her, if there's anything else, let me know. And she's saying that she's never really seen her like this, but she does say, that she's pretty much like a scared little girl in terms of, mentally and stuff like that, right? And the way she receives things and the way she's acting. And, she was just letting her know, like, you didn't grow up in a house like that. You see me and your dad together, loving each other in a loving relationship and loving you. And if a man is not going to love you the way that you love him, then basically he don't deserve you. And if he's not going to respect you, and, you shouldn't even have a second thought. She's like, when I was with your father, I never second guessed whether he loved me or not. I never second guessed whether he was committed to me or not. And so she does admit that she hasn't told her mom everything or whatever the case may be, right? And she's saying how she want to have control. She want to take her life back. She want to be able to have this relationship with him. But if she's being honest, she knows that he does not feel for her the same way that, she feels for him. And so, she was just basically like, she don't know what the heck she's going to do. And I'm like, girl, I don't know what the heck you going to do either, honey, because that's a hot damn mess. If you that miserable like that you just walking around sad and crying and complaining and feeling lost every day, that's a no from me, dog, okay? Let it go, let it flow. That's what it tells me. Sometimes we got to be able to listen to our intuition and our instincts and just go ahead and save yourself the damn headache, okay? And that's what it sounded like her mother was trying to tell her too. Like, you can't make somebody or turn somebody into something else, no matter how much you may care for them and how much you may want it to be that way. It just does not work like that, okay? So to me, puppy is just literally making herself miserable and putting herself through a whole bunch of stuff that she don't have to be putting herself through. We then got Chaz and this damn freaking oh no, I talked about that already. We then got Chaz when I'm sorry, I'll be mixing up Chance and Chaz. We then got Chance and Baldwin, okay, is what I meant to say, right? And so they getting ready for this strip club. She giving him this spike hairdo. He's singing how he was gonna look like, I can't remember if he said Ferris Bueller. It was one of them old school 80 movies. And then they get there, she's saying how she wants him to be drunk. She wants him to loosen up. She wants him to have a good time. Okay, she wants him to be able to, relax, relate, release, like I'll be telling y'all to do, okay? And just really loosen up, get drunk, whatever have you. And so when they at the club, Bronwyn is saying how they looking for a hottie to do this lap dance for him, right? And he's so awkward and pitiful. He's like saying he never did this before, but he does want to go out and be able to enjoy himself, be able to make her happy. He's saying, maybe he's thinking the same thing. She want to loosen him up in one way, but he want to loosen her up in a whole nother way, okay? And he was like, maybe she'll feel more comfortable. Maybe this will get her to be, excited and relaxed or whatever the case may be in terms of being able to be with him. And he hopes that it will turn her on, right? And so her friends and all of them are around and, he's sitting here, woo, oh, and then she, okay, yeah, and it was just so awkward and funny. And so even when he was getting the lap dance, he's saying here like, oh, you said you come from here and you live around here, and he's making small talk and he's apologizing. Like, it was just so awkward. But he tried to make the best of it, and he did try to be a sport. And he's saying that what a good wife he has. He wasn't expecting this. He has some really fabulous time or whatever the case may be. He enjoyed himself. This was different and all of that, right? And he was like, one part of him is one her, like I said, to be excited and all of that stuff and be more turned on. And the other part of him feels that she's using this to basically avoid him. I said, bingo, that's the part right there, honey. You got it, okay? And so he basically, was saying that he can't wait when they living together. He could be making his coffee and drinking it and she could be dancing around in the pole while he make the coffee. I said, okay. But, her friend does, excuse me, y'all. Her friend does ask to speak to him outside. And when they went outside, basically what it boiled down to is she was telling him, like, I'm really scared that she's not going anywhere. Like, if she doesn't get ready to go soon, she's not going to be going, right? First, of course, she was asking him how he liked it, how he felt, was he having a good time? And he said, yeah, he wasn't expecting all of this, and he definitely did. He says him and Bronwyn have this connection, is deep and all of this stuff, and, just being able to be there with her and see her happy and all of that stuff. So she was like, okay, all of that part was good. But she basically was saying that, if she doesn't go soon, then she could see her possibly not going through with it. And if it does come down to that, how would he feel? What would he do? And he was saying he would know that the marriage wasn't going to work and he would be really disappointed and hurt. You know what I'm saying? That, it fell through and that it didn't happen or whatever the case may be, right? But so far, he's still was feeling that she has endless possibilities and that she can do this. And she basically was saying, she seems to really be getting more and more comfortable. She's doing school out here. She's getting all these different things done out there. And so she could see a situation where she wouldn't go. So, now they go and they driving back, by themselves or whatever. The friends went their way and, now it's just him and Chaz and Baldwin talking, and he's still saying how, he's disappointed. He wanted them to hang out a little bit more. He wanted her to come back to cabin with him. She has this curfew. She's saying she have to be up for something. But still, even though she has valid things that she does have to do, is still like we know that Bronwyn does not actually want to go back and be able to have sex with this man. I feel like if she did, then she would have cut out some of that other stuff and she would have focused on that and switched whatever she needs to switch around. Even though we can say that he still came knowing that his flight was delayed and all of that kind of stuff. That was true too. It was some different factors that came into play, but it's like, you just know that Baldwin don't want this man. And you know that he knows it too, but he's still trying to make it work. So it's just like the weirdest freaking thing, that you could possibly see. She give him these kisses before she get out the car, whatever the case may be. And he just saying how he just so sad and disappointed about this, right? And so we finally get to Destiny and Sean or whatever the case may be. And we see that, Kelly and her daughter is coming there, right? And she's saying how, she want to be there to support her daughter. The daughter is saying that she wanted to come or whatever the case may be, that the last time she seen him is when, one, she found out about Destiny, and then two, later on when he broke up with Destiny and when she was so hurt, saying it seemed like you just going and starting over another family. They was talking about how they never found out about these things that's going on with Sean till way after the fact. And she says that it's so much that happened from that point, when we last saw her till now, and that she's trying to be a grown up and, kind of move on or whatever the case may be for herself, not for him, right? And Kelly is saying that she's there to give her support. And it's like, that's fine. I appreciate that. And I can respect that, because a lot of people was like, well, why Kelly have to come? I don't see nothing wrong with her coming. I don't think she have to be there directly, at the wedding. But I don't see nothing wrong with her coming and giving her daughter support. I am kind of like, where's the other kids? Because Sean kept being like, my kids. And we know that they have 6. So now that's 2 that I'm going to be there, right? The son that we already met. And now, this same daughter that we have seen before. Where's the other 4? Okay. But, they are talking and she's saying how she would be willing to try to give him this other chance and come in as a adult or whatever. But where I disagree with Kelly at, because Kelly was saying that, she was going to stop by, I guess, ahead, and that he didn't know about that part, and she was going to see him, and that she also wanted to speak to Kelly to let her know what she was getting into. Sarah, to let her know what she's getting into. That's where I disagree with you, Miss Kelly. I don't see any reason at all for you and Sarah to have a conversation about anything, or for you to tell her what she's getting into. That I don't agree with at all. She's saying that she's only here on behalf of her daughter. She's saying that, she don't want anything else to do with him. She don't have any other type of animosities or no type of jealousy or no thing of her still wanting him. And I believe her when she's saying all of those things. But I don't agree or see a reason why she would need to come to tell Sarah anything. Okay, so that's the part where I'm like, okay, Kelly girl, no. But we have Destiny driving. Destiny is irking my nerves, y'all. Destiny, it is really the freaking nerve and the audacity for me. I didn't think anybody else could irk my damn nerves worse than Sean does. And Destiny has taken the damn prize, y'all. She's sitting here driving, talking about how he gotta owe her at least $25,000. Okay, he owe her for clothes. He owe her for her time. He owe her for that damn supposed 10,000 damn ring, that he didn't buy. We see her at a hotel where she's saying she's still been having a hard time, getting stuff together. So she's like, what, the 25,000 and the other stuff that she just added in, that brings her up to 50,000. She don't mess with the guy that she was married to no more. And so therefore now I want to sit here and freaking go and harass damn Sean. When she at the hotel and she's saying how she still haven't been able to get herself together and do certain things and that she don't got time. I said, but you got time to run behind Sean and find him and go to his damn wedding and mess with him. She gonna talk about some damn, he showed up at the court that time, so she gonna show up at his wedding. That's gonna be like her court. She knows that he's gonna be appearing. So you're comparing a court where you basically, he did all different kind of stuff, child, that got you arrested, to his wedding. It really is the nerve and the damn audacity for me, And so, when they was going back and forth between, showing her driving there, they was going back and forth and showing between, Kelly driving there, and they was saying how hard it was, and she was like, just letting us know it's not about none of that type of animosity. I'm not mad about him getting married, but it's just like all of a sudden he getting married. Wait, what? Knowing that that's the way that he operates and that they always find out about things afterwards. And they were saying that kind of sucks. And, his daughter was like, yeah, it's just like, oh, hey, this is your stepmom or whatever, right? And they were saying how, hopefully she's not worse than damn Destiny. I said, no, I don't think so. Not by a long shot. She over here talking about she got a baby on the way. This is Destiny. So she need this damn money from him, period, or whatever. Or he's not going to be a married man. He's going to be a dead man. I said, girl, are you saying all this on TV? Okay. And so when we see Sarah and Sean, they have decided that they're going to sleep in separate rooms for this night before the wedding. He's saying how nervous he is, how he got butterflies. She's saying she not really feeling no nerves. Maybe she going to end up feeling the next day, but she's not really feeling it right now. And, he's asking her, are you going to show up? She like, yeah, I'm going to show up. Are you going to show up or whatever? So, he's basically saying, he love her. He miss her. It's going to be awkward not sleeping in the bed with her because it's the first night that they're going to be sleeping in separate rooms, in a long time or whatever the case may be, until they see each other at this wedding. So I say, yeah, y'all just so happen to have separate rooms. When we got Destiny coming and we got Miss Kelly coming, I see y'all. We know how y'all fixing all this stuff up. And of course, as they keep going back and forth, like I said, you can see them traveling at the same time. Then you see both of them looking like they about to check in, into the hotel or walk through the damn elevator. They literally showing the same part over and over and over. Y'all was ticking me off with this editing that y'all was doing. Okay. And in the meantime, Sean is saying that, he really hopes that nothing ruins his day. And he's getting in the shower or whatever. And we see, looks like Destiny, at least from the way that they edited, showed up there first. And she's like down, checking in or whatever at the desk. and then we only see in the bottom of the person's feet and them holding a bag, and then it basically looks like it's Destiny there and he's opening the door, but in all actuality we don't know who's there, and they gonna drag this out, y'all. They gonna drag this through the damn mud and make us hold out and wait for freaking never to find out who is there. Is it Destiny or is it Kelly? And Kelly gonna be ready to curse damn Destiny ass out too if she see her there. And then Sarah gonna be done with every damn bunny. So this is gonna be interesting, but honey, I wouldn't be surprised if this shit don't get dragged another 2-3 episodes or even to the end of the season. How many episodes is in the season, y'all? Let me know. Put it in the comments though. Tell me about what you thought about this episode altogether. I can say I'm happy that they didn't show Marcelino and Brittany. I did not miss them at all, and that goes to show you that we do not need them up here. But put it all in the comments. Let's discuss, okay? Anything I forgot or anything y'all liked, didn't like, you know how we do, okay? Like, comment, share, subscribe if you are so inclined, okay? Give me some flames. Let me know you come by. Say hey, give me a wave. Till next time, toodaloo.